show you how I design and make the graphics in Inkscape for the Micro and Midget cars that I 3D print and sell on Etsy. The one model that I'm going to show you right now is a model has really nice flat sides. I make them like that on purpose so that graphics are real easy to make in your computer, print out on printer paper, or if you prefer you can use water slide. It gets a little trickier since you can't print white, but you can print this out on regular printer paper and you can glue this right to the panels and it looks real sharp. I'm not a pro modeler, but and most of the people that buy my stuff aren't pro modelers. So if you are trying to make your car or your son's kid's little car, or somebody professional you want to try and mimic, this is kind of cool, and you can get it to look really, really close. So I want to start with I take a picture of the panel of the car with my camera, and then I just import it. Okay, it's image, open. Okay, it's going to import it probably pretty big. Okay, I'm going to zoom out and then I'll scale it down and make sure this lock is on right here. That'll lock in, so when I make it shorter width-wise, it also brings it down proportionately height-wise. So I'll go like this. See how it's keeping it within proportion. And don't look at that, I'm going to show you that later. Okay, now I'll zoom into the page. And now I'm going to turn this. So now what you can do is you can trace it. I'm not going to go through all the different ways to do things in Inkscape. You can do your own research on YouTube there and find out how to make a lot of these graphics and stuff. It's pretty cool. So there's basically the template, and if it wasn't exactly the way I want it, I can modify it. And this doesn't have to be perfect. You're trying to get an idea of where to put the graphics. You're going to get rid of this a little later on anyway, so it doesn't print out. So that's basically it. Now I can select that image and delete it. And that's basically it right there. So now if I took the measurement from the highest point there to the lowest point there of the actual panel and leave this locked in, and I put that in that height right here, let's say it's going to be 50. So that rescaled it, and front to back now is 88.572, and I should see if I measure my actual panel, it should be that or very close. Then what I do is I will select stroke or fill. Let's get rid of the fill. So see, now I just have that, and I can make that smaller, align. So it's hardly even visible, but I know where it's at. So once you have that, then you can create all your graphics in here however you want it. A lot of the graphics you can, if they're big name graphics, you can download the logos right off the internet. Try and do it in vector format and input them, and then you can zoom them in and out all you want, and you don't lose the resolution. So basically what you would have here, I'm going to get rid of this actually. I'm going to delete that. Pull this over here. So this is the graphic. I'm going to show you how I did it. So you can see the trace right here. The trace there is all the way around. And then I just created my graphics and I put them in there. You can see, you can group this stuff together, you can ungroup it. This isn't grouped right now, so I can select it. I can actually take that logo and move it. So that's what's cool once you have the logo made. I mean, if you want to do another car and you've got a different car but same sponsors, you know, you can copy and paste this right into there. I can move this logo wherever I want. So a lot of this stuff is already grouped together. There, a lot of it ain't now. See, I can move that logo wherever I want. Now I'm going to delete that. I'm going to delete a lot of these logos. So you can kind of see in reverse order here what I did. So I would be inputting all this stuff, but right now I'm deleting all this stuff. So you can see the process I kind of had here. And if you know, a lot of times I go over the edge because just in case I cut it too close, if it's bigger, I'm going to trim it off anyway eventually, so it doesn't matter. So if this is a little bit bigger, my graphics go over that line, it's probably a good thing because I don't want to be too short if there's a color here and then I end up having some of the white panel showing through later. But see, here's that design that I traced. And if I undo here a few times, when you go to print it out, it's also handy a lot of times if you go in here, you select it and take the stroke. Just take the stroke out. It's still there. It's still there, but you can't see it. So now you don't see the lines when you print it out. So if it ended up being too short, the line doesn't show up on your car. So I'm going to close this out. And here's my finished product here. So you see I got the motor side, I've got the other side. This is usually a side that, on a circle track, this would be a side facing the fans. This would be the side on the infield. You usually have your motor on the inside, put your weight on the inside. This is the little visor on the top. Let me zoom in. I put a couple of extra ones there. Doesn't hurt to have a few extra in case I screw it up. This is my hood. Notice I left the, I still have the outer trace there. No reason, I just forgot to take it out. This is the two tail numbers. So it's all basically right there. So once I print this out, then I can take either a scissors or an X-Acto knife, works pretty good too. I'll cut it close, like this here. I'll cut it close, and then I'll glue it on the panel. I can move it around. I use Modge Podge. I'll put it on the panel and on the back of the paper, and then I press it on, and I can slide it around, move it in place, and then once it dries, then I can make a real nice close, nice cut with an X-Acto knife all the way around. And then I'll seal it with Modge Podge over the top. And then I'll usually let it go for days. Once you let it go for days, like 2 or 3 days, let that Modge Podge really set and cure. Put a coat on top. Then leave it set for days. I don't know if I mentioned that, but yeah, put it on, let it dry a little bit, and then clear coat it right over the top with the Modge Podge. Let it set for days. Let it really cure. And then I just take a spray can of lacquer, and I spray it on far enough away that it's really like a mist. You're putting a very light mist coat on there that it's almost drying either really fast or drying as it hits. I'll do that a few times to try and get a nice sealed coat. Once I have that and it's dried pretty good, then I'll give it a nice solid coat of clear lacquer, and that's usually all you have to do. And you know, these panels come off the car and go on the car really nice. Once you have all this done, you just put it on the car. So that's all I really have to show you on the computer side of it. It's really nice to work with this Inkscape. It's a free program. You can do a lot of research. I mean, I basically handmade. This is a font. This I traced and made along with the graphics. This is a font. I made the line. I made, you know, the flag I downloaded. I just typed in, I googled vector American flag waving, and I found one I like. This I completely made. That I completely made. The graphics here. I mean, I'm copying what the car looks like. I'm copying what the car looks like. But, you know, I just reference that, and you can, if you want, you can put the picture. If you don't have multiple monitors, you can kind of go like this. You can bring the picture in, file, import. I'm not sure which picture it was. There it was. I can import that picture. I can scale it down. So now as I'm doing it, I can do it here while I see what I want to do here. I can visually look at it here. I can create it over here. And then when you're all done, delete the picture. So that's what it is. That's all I do to it. This one took me a few hours to make up. It's a little timely, and the better you get, the faster you get. But this is a lot easier than trying to hand paint any of this stuff. And it comes out really nice. So I'm going to stop this video here, and I'll start another video showing this printout, and in that video I'll probably cut it all out and glue it on and show that process.